Friends, do you trade cryptocurrency? Perhaps you use it for shopping, saving, or cross-border transfers. Today, it is an extremely trendy, convenient, and profitable type of asset that has replaced regular money for many. And of course, coins are bought and sold on exchanges. It is a fully fledged financial instrument that is becoming increasingly popular among traders every year. Personally, I love cryptocurrencies, but I prefer to trade on more conservative markets. Nowadays, blockchain is held in high regard, and many traders begin their acquaintance with exchanges precisely in the cryptosphere. Alas, often the first attempt cost them their capital and the desire to continue trading. Cryptocurrency trading has its own specific friends, and I am convinced that these assets should only be used by experienced traders. Today we will talk about the difference between cryptocurrency trading and a more conservative portfolio. Let's consider the main differences, weigh the pros and cons, and of course present useful conclusions that will help you make the right decision. Alongside this, I will prove that those coveted multipliers can be achieved, not only by trading altcoins. In an hour, I will try to boost my starting balance from $10 to at least $2,000. I'm confident it will work out, because today I will be trading one of my most favorite short-term strategies. Make yourselves comfortable, we're starting. So friends, traditionally we will start by analyzing our indicators. One of them is the zigzag. I will use the standard settings for it. The second one is the Donchian channel with a period of 15. I slightly modified it, the appearance for clarity. And as a filter, I will use the standard CCI with settings of 20 periods. Basically, that's all. Now let me show you and explain how we will enter the market today. Pay attention to these bounces off the Donchian channel. When they appear, you should expect the chart to reverse in the opposite direction. Such signals appear quite often, and the market almost always changes its direction. Super. There will be many such moments. Here's another signal. Look, the price was falling and bounced off the central line. After that, it went up. Also an excellent entry point into the market. Now I'll show you, let's go, the logic of the oscillator. Here we will react to overbought conditions. That is when exiting the channel upwards. It almost always predicts a correction or a market reversal in the opposite direction. The same logic accordingly applies to oversold conditions. And finally, there's the zigzag. Probably my favorite indicator of today's set. Here it's simple. We draw levels from its angles and wait for their breakout. Or a price bounce. You could say they are local support and resistance zones. Well, I think that's enough theory. It's time to move on to trading. Let's go. Here is our first opportunity to enter a trade. A long position is opened here. Now I'll explain why we are expecting growth. Everyone, focus on the chart. Take note. The price bounced up from this level, and it coincides with a reversal from the Donchian channel boundary. Two signals in one. Meanwhile, the CCI was previously oversold, so we are definitely expecting growth now. 100% alignment of all signals. Excellent. Let's start our topic. Crypto or Forex, friends? Which is better? Forex offers us stability, established practices, liquidity, while cryptocurrency trading provides us with innovations, flexibility, and the potential for significant returns. Currencies are a conservative choice, assets that interest banks, funds, and the largest corporations. Here there is immense liquidity, so price movements are often quite smooth. Whereas cryptocurrency is true chaos, my friends. With this type of asset, one should be very cautious. Arguably, it is the most volatile financial instrument. All right, excellent. I have the first trade on my balance. I like this chart, so I'll stay here for now. Let's see what happens within a minute. Will there be a bounce from the Donchian central line? Perhaps we'll go short. So, cryptocurrencies are very volatile. There are constant squeezes here, meaning sharp movements and then a return back. This is very bad because they are done with the aim of driving small capital out of the market. Yes, friends, the main downside of crypto here is that large speculators want to knock out and generally make money at the expense of small people, at the expense of small, young traders. To buy in large quantities, they often initiate a price collapse. And when a lot of people open short positions, they buy up all the collected offers and return the price to its usual stage. This happens so often that one of the most popular methods of chart analysis in crypto has become the concept of smart money. It involves attempts to understand the thought process of these large players. I will still enter a short position. Now I'll show you why it's worth it. So we are interested in the last red candle. You see it, right? Its reversal down from the central line of the channel, as I mentioned, this is a signal for a decline. Therefore, we will wait for the expiration to end, and while we have time, let's continue the dialogue. So, speaking of squeezes and manipulations, I want to convey to you the idea that the crypto market is the most complex, lively, and volatile, in some sense, even a treacherous instrument. Undoubtedly, you can earn on absolutely all types of markets. However, with cryptocurrencies, it is the most difficult, especially if you are a beginner, I would say, who does not yet understand the specifics at all and believes absolutely everything. Yes, friends, you can quickly amass capital here, but the chances of losing it are even greater. Let's be honest, with the emergence of the crypto industry, a fork sounds very boring. Everyone is eager to buy coins and other assets. However, real money from conservative markets, what we are doing now, hasn't gone anywhere, it's waiting for us. The second deal closes in a row, plus I'm not entirely sure, but it's okay. I think it's time to change the chart. Let's see what we have today and what options the market offers us. Let's go. Friends, I think a good entry point is waiting for us on the euro to pound. I'm opening a short position here. Now I'll explain why. The situation is quite simple. You just need to look at the chart carefully. We see a rebound from the upper boundary of the channel above, which means we should expect a decline. The price has approached the channel level, zigzag, which will clearly be broken through this time. Yes, and the stylator was also basically bought out. It is starting to decrease now. Everything indicates a decline. So let's now see what will come out of this. For now, let's return to our topic. Another disadvantage of crypto is that it has weak fundamentals. I mean that you can't really trade or analyze based on news. Once every 6 months, Elon Musk might say something. And does this lead to the growth of a specific single asset? All. Again, friends, this is important, so a crypto trader should primarily rely on technical analysis, which, by the way, can experience some disruptions due to the same high volatility I mentioned earlier. All of this makes trading complicated, in a word, that's all. Great. I close another trade in profit and perhaps I'll find a new entry point. And then we'll continue. And here is my opportunity for entry. I'm opening a long position here on the euro to Canadian dollar, the currency pair we have. Here's the logic of my analysis, pay attention. The price bounced up from the central line of the channel, so further growth is expected. That's all, friends. And the lower shadow you see is quite large. The indicators and the rest, my analysis, do not contradict my analysis. Returning to the fundamental aspect of the analysis, with classic look currency pairs, everything is great here. National central banks and other agencies regularly publish macroeconomic reports, hold briefings, political, various news also comes out. Wonderful. This allows us to regularly predict the movement of the asset, up or down. At least, traders almost always know why the quote of a particular currency pair is moving in a certain direction. And this, I think everyone agrees with me. This is quite important. Crypto also reacts to political news, but sometimes quite unpredictably. Therefore, it can be said that fundamental analysis is a clear advantage of classic assets. On our markets, I close super well too, plus the acceleration is going very well. This is my fourth attempt. Let's continue with another currency pair. Let's go. So friends, we continue trading. Here we have a long position. Look, although the price has been steadily declining, a smooth upward reversal has been outlined. It was slightly oversold earlier. STI of the asset. According to this, all of this during the decline, so we expect a correction. To the central line. Look, another pitfall of crypto is its lack of backing. In fact, the price of the same Bitcoin, like other coins, is determined by the demand for it, right? As long as investors are willing to buy the asset, it is held in esteem. If confidence wavers, money starts to be withdrawn and the value falls. Yes, these are market rules and they are fair for any asset. However, the same currencies have a certain reserve of stability. That is, central banks conduct currency, interventions regulate the interest rate, and the government is directly interested in the viability and purchasing power of its currency pairs. They will have demand in any case, as they are used by all citizens. Here we have another plus. Wonderful, friends. It cannot but please us. Yes, for now, let's stay on this chart. Soon I will open again, returning to crypto. The point is that crypto was decentralized and not subject to external control in most cases. On one hand, this is good, but in terms of stability, you must agree, it's not very good. There is a certain coin, that is, if a certain coin starts to fall, nothing can stop it. No one will lend a helping hand and take any measures. Many will remember an interesting token like Luna, which suddenly went to zero, leaving a huge number of investors with nothing. This won't happen with the Swiss franc or the Japanese yen, friends. At least, not so quickly, all right? In general, when dealing with cryptocurrency, be prepared for the fact that this market can crash at any moment. This can absolutely happen at any time. Another long trade. We are waiting for a convincing price increase. I think that the central line will be broken now. By the way, here's another popular term from the world of cryptocurrency. Rug pulled. You know, right? This concerns various coins that were created from the start to deceive investors and holders. The asset is artificially pumped with money, and then the owners sell their shares, simply crashing the prices down. Yes, friends, there are speculations in the stock market. I mean, in ours. For example, there are many more in crypto. Naturally, this doesn't apply to all crypto. Bitcoin or Ethereum, for instance, are quite trustworthy, as well as probably a dozen major altcoins. But everything else, coins that are quite dangerous for beginners. Therefore, when trading crypto, you should understand what exactly you plan to work with, considering the risks and cautions. In short, not for beginners, I say again. So great, not with such a big margin, but I'm in the black. Let's stay on this chart a little longer. It's quite likely we'll enter in a minute. I'm curious to see how things will develop. It might seem that I only see the bad in crypto and don't want anyone to deal with it. Although there is something in common, it's not quite like that. Crypto is good and interesting, it's just more difficult to interact with than the stock market. Now let's talk about the advantages of a cryptocurrency trader. There are some as well. The main one is coins available daily. Forex closes on weekends, as you know, while crypto can be bought or sold even on Sunday. There are no problems. Although this is not a decisive factor, it's still quite nice to know that you can do what you want at any convenient time. In the case of traditional currencies, you have to wait until early Monday morning, and on the stock market, you have to wait for the exchange to open according to the schedule. So, well, let's finish it off. Let's try this chart with another long position. We are waiting for the outcome of the deal, friends. Let's just continue discussing the advantages of crypto. About the advantages. With its help, it's indeed easier to earn. That's a fact. It's more volatile, so when using classic trading, non-optionally, let's say, the profit is much higher compared to even Forex. I agree with that, no argument. Ordinary currencies can increase in price by 0.2% in a day of its value, while the same Bitcoin can increase by 5%, you understand, right? However, it's worth noting that it used to be much easier to trade crypto. It was only going up and everyone was in long positions. Now it's being tossed from side to side, so capturing such volatility has become much more difficult, or rather the profits on it. And again, we return to the idea that new traders would do better with a more stable and smooth asset. That is, currencies, Forex. Great, another profitable trade. Let's probably finish with this currency pair. Very low volatility, I'll look for a new opportunity. And here is the new entry point. Here I open a short position. Let me show you why I made this decision. So, here is the bounce from the upper boundary of the Donchian channel. Meanwhile, the oscillator was overbought. It's the perfect time to expect a decline. While the expiration is ongoing, it hasn't ended yet. Let's continue our conversation today. Another advantage of trading crypto is that it is usually done directly on crypto exchanges. Yes, it can also be bought through intermediaries, that is, brokers. However, anyone can register directly on the platform, on the direct platform, and that's a plus. Wouldn't you agree? What are the advantages of this? Lower transaction fees. However, this is clearly not the most decisive factor, probably. In essence, a fraction of a percent from the position is not that much in the scale of profits and losses. Therefore, this advantage will be important only for a small number of people. And with that, the advantages of crypto end, my friends. And as you can see, for beginners, there are far more disadvantages than advantages. Wouldn't you agree? Meanwhile, my trade is closing in profit. Simply magnificent. Yes, I like it. Friends, $1,000 on the balance. We probably have the last entry point left. And we will find it on another chart. We need to search for it. Let's go. Well, friends, here is the euro dollar. The moment of truth. Not quite the currency pair loved by many. Let's open a long trade. I'll give you some comments, as the example is quite interesting. Here we have a bounce from the Donchian central line, so we expect further growth. The indicators do not contradict the analysis. Well, trading cryptocurrencies, friends, is by no means a bad choice. It's just that the entry threshold there is much higher than in the world of trading on financial markets. For beginners who are just starting their journey in trading, it's better to consider more conservative assets. I am 100% convinced of this. Currency pairs are perfectly suitable, so please give them a try. Countless video lessons have already been recorded on my channel. That's a fact. So the rest of the choice is of course up to you. I just always give you my recommendations, my vision, and share with you my 6 years of trading experience. Crypto definitely has its advantages, but you'll have time to assess them. It's definitely like that, friends. From 21 to 0, great. I'm closing the deal. Plus it's more than $2,000. Friends, the fourth attempt at acceleration is just wonderful. I think on this wonderful note, we will sum up today's trading. Let's go. Excellent result. Friends, what else can I say? I'm sure many of you will now understand that not only in crypto is there a part, and you can earn good money on quite conservative currency. Again, where to start is your choice, I said. But still, I recommend you take a closer look at more standard assets. The crypto market, you can enter it with more experience. In any case, generally, you will always have time. Exchanges aren't going anywhere. One way or another, you can try today's trading strategy on all types of markets. It is universal, profitable, and suitable for absolutely any financial assets. Friends, conduct thorough backtesting, choose what you like, and earn good profits over the long term. This is the most important thing there is. This is our main article and our main priorities. I hope you enjoyed today's video. YouTube algorithms, as you can see, haven't been working very well lately. The video is getting fewer and fewer views. Therefore, I would be incredibly grateful and happy for your support and engagement with this video. Leave comments, be sure to hit the like button, and tell me what you want to see in the next episode. Wishing you more profit, kindness, and peace above your head, as always, friends. See you soon in my new videos. Goodbye, everyone.